Right, let's welcome to our lab today. We are going to be looking at some Nmap scanning. This is for some ethical hacking setup here. So basically what you have on your screen is I've got a Kali machine, I have Metasploitable, and I have my PfSense router. On top, make sure that everything can ping everything else. You see my Kali has IP address of 1.100. Metasploitable is 105. Let's make sure I can ping my Kali box. And we are happy there. So now that I have it, I can go ahead and minimize my PfSense and we can make my Kali screen bigger here. We'll also move this out the way for now. All right, let's make this nice and big. There we go. All right, so everything is set up and running. So what we want to do, and with this lab, is we want to use scanning techniques to find the target on the vulnerable machine using Nmaps. And we know Metasploitable is an operating system or an image that is designed to find exploits. It's great for training. We're also going to be looking at how we can use some scans with Wireshark as well. So we've got a lot of cool stuff to talk about in this lab. So let's go ahead and keep on going. So we're happy with our lab setup. So first thing we want to do is we want to scan our actual um, machine here. So let's go ahead and do an Nmap scan on our Kali machine scan. And let's do a ping sweep of everything that's going on our network. So we're going to type in the nmap command with the -s and p, right? And we're going to do our entire PfSense network. So we know that is 192.168.1.1/24, right? And we see this starting here and we get some information here. Basically, it says, hey, yeah, we've got a couple machines that are up. We see here, we have our .105 address, and we know that is Metasploitable. And we also see that our local host right here is up 1.100. That is our Kali box, which we are on. So we're happy here that we are getting results. It means our network is working. So we found our targets on our network, and in the real life, you could scan your entire network and see what other machines are online, what other machines you can scan, and try to enumerate, which is finding out information used to then later stage your future attacks or your future reconnaissance efforts. So next we want to do is we found our target, which is the 105 address Metasploitable. We want to perform a TCP scan under our scan techniques. We're going to do this against our actual Metasploitable VM. So let's go ahead and do that here. So I'm going to type in the nmap command again. This time I'm going to use the -ss. This is our SYN scan against our Metasploitable machine here. So that is 192.168.1.105. All right. And you see, once we do that, we see a lot of open ports here. We got FTP, SSH, Telnet. Oh my gosh, Telnet, that is scary. Should never be open. DNS 53, HTTP, NetBIOS, login shell, a lot of stuff. Network file system, MySQL server on here, VNC, X11 server for graphics and other stuff. So a lot of stuff is open on this machine. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff open. So now what we can do is find out, hey, what is the versions of these things that we can actually scan, right? So we know these are the ports and the services. Now let's see if we can find some other information, some versioning information here. So we're going to do the nmap with the -SV. And again, same IP address, 192.168.1.105. Might take a little longer as it fingerprints everything. but it should give us some interesting results. All right, so that was pretty quick. Let's make our window bigger here, and we can also zoom in. There we go. And so, as you see here, we have a lot of stuff open FTP. We have the actual service here. And as you know from your previous classes, once you find out the version of something, there are potential exploits, right? So we can take a look, combine this with our CVE or our National Phone Database, and do some matching or some searching, saying, okay, let's say I have this version of Apache 2.2.8. Are there any exploits that I can attempt to run? Right? So this is what we do when we enumerate and we're doing our discovery. One more scan that we can also try to do is maybe we can figure out what the operating system is of this machine. So let's go ahead and do the -O toggle for our operating system version. See if we can't figure out what operating system this Metasploitable machine is. And with the -O, we get this right here. It says, hey, this is basically general purpose Linux running on the 2.6 kernel. Um, and it's doing an estimation. Says, okay, we think you are between 2.6.9 and 2.6.33. Again, useful information here can help us again with our fingerprinting so that we can find potential vulnerabilities that could be exploited. All right, so next thing we want to do is we want to take a look at the um, one more way that we can attack, and that's is over port 80. So let's take a look at port 80 HTTP, and let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. So we can further filter down on this one. So let's do nmap dash port 80 192.168.1.105. And you see, yes, we have port HTTP or port 80 service HTTP is in fact open. So, that's nice to know here. All right, now let's also see if we can't find some vulnerabilities here. So, we do have some vulnerabilities here, but let's take a look and see where those are located on our Nmap here. So let's take a look at cd/user/share Nmap scripts, right? And once you're in here, you see we got a bunch of scripts here, right? Pretty nice stuff. So you can see all this stuff is things that we can use for reconnaissance efforts, trying to fool attackers, thwart, um, thwart our scanning, right? Throw them off. But we got SMB, enumeration, vulnerability, stuff like that. And let's see, we got FTP. We got a whole bunch of HTTP stuff that we can try to throw at this machine as well. So we got a lot of things that we can attempt to do in here. So the one we are concerned about today is a FTP one, VSFTP backdoor specifically. And as you saw before, we actually did have that running as a service. So if we go back up um, here, run that scan again, you'll see that we have the VSFTP service running. And that's what we're going to attempt to look at today. All right, so now that we have it, let's go ahead and attempt to run it here. So let's see. So there it is, VSFTP version 2.3.4. So now that we have our combined knowledge here, that's what we're going to do. We are going to do a little script. So let's do nmap --script and FTP, VSFTP, VSFTPD, backdoor.nsc. Oops, forgot my IP address. All right, so there we go. As you see, it says, ooh, look at this. Our machine is in fact vulnerable. Again, we've not even touched this machine. We are doing this all remotely. Um, but as you can see right here, we get the CVE that states, hey, we are actually vulnerable. It was a backdoor reported way back when in 2011. And look, once you actually exploit it, you get root access, user ID of 0, group ID of 0. And here's some references you can drill down into for more information here. Pretty cool, right? All right, so let's go ahead and so, go to the next part of this, and we're actually going to be looking at Wireshark, and we're going to see how Wireshark responds to network scanning here. So let's go ahead and open up Wireshark. So let's go minimize this, and let's pull up Wireshark. Let's see, web application, where is it here, database. Here we go. Okay, so we want to make sure that Ethernet 0 is selected, and that is our default network here. So let's go ahead and click on the capture button, and let's see what we can find here. So we have some ICMP, we got some ICMP6 traffic going on here, but let's go ahead and see if we can't find some traffic here. So let's go ahead and go back to our terminal session here. Let's clear out this. And I'm going to move this out the way and adjust this as well. In fact, I'll just make everything bigger. There we go. And hopefully it'll resize for me. Or not. Let's see. Oh, VirtualBox, gotta love it. Okay, well that wasn't too cool. All right, let's clear this out. Let's try this again, resize. There we go, cool. So this time I'm gonna run a scan again against my same machine here. So let's do Nmap dash SS Metasploitable IP. And as you see right here, we're starting to get a whole bunch of traffic here. And you can see, what was going on here. And we can see, from here, our ports being used right here, which is pretty cool, right? And let's see if we can't find some more information here. We can see our send command is being sent out here, right? There's our source, there's our destination here, source being our Kali box, our destination being Metasploit, and we're using the send packet there, pretty cool, or the send flag, I mean. All right, and what we can do is we can also use a filter here. So let's do that. We can actually type in TCP dot flags dot syn equals 1 NN IP dot source equals 192.168. 0.1.100. And now we've basically just filtered down for the SYN, a flag, and our source being our Kali machine here. And this is us doing our Nmap scan. And that is the end of the lab, but pretty cool, right? All right.